Today I'll be looking at the Paco Motorsports Brake Master Cylinder Brace for the ND Miata. I bought this at the Paco Motorsports booth at Miata's at the Gap. Being from Canada, the opportunity to buy and bring something home within my personal duty exemption was too tempting to pass up. That said, just because I got a good deal on something doesn't mean I'm not curious if it's actually effective. I don't claim to be an engineer, but I can use tools just as inappropriately as the next guy. Let's see if we can learn anything. The tool I'll be using is this Wen brand dial indicator I bought from Amazon. I can't make the assumption that this gauge is 100% accurate, but I'm assuming it will at least serve to comparatively indicate the difference after I install the brace. Complicating both the install and measurement, I have the Goodwin Racing Roadster Sport V2 shock tower brace installed. This left me with limited places I could firmly attach the dial indicator. I'm not exactly proud of the solution I used, but it seemed to work well enough. I did zero the dial. However, due to the weird angle, articulating arm, and poor mounting point, the dial moved when starting the car. Let's just pretend that -9 is the same as 0. When pressing the brake with a normal amount of force, the dial moved 20 thousandths of an inch. With a large amount of force, we managed to get 40 thousandths of an inch. While you can see the movement of the cylinder on camera, and those measurements sound like a lot of thousandths, I had to convert to units I was able to understand natively. We're talking about 0.5 and 1 millimeter, respectively. That's not a lot of extra movement. It is more than 0, but like 1 millimeter more than 0. Installation required bending of this tab on the shock tower brace. You may not have this issue with a sheet steel on the OEM bracket. The instructions also caution about over-tightening. I can confirm this is a problem, as the factory stud at this location snapped with very little force. It seems the stud is mostly used for locating the bracket during install, but it would have been better to have left this very loose instead of off the car. Having done this once before, I managed to find a more stable method for both mounting and positioning the dial indicator, so the dial now properly zeros. I don't think the loose mounting in the earlier test will actually be an issue, as I suspect it would have reduced some of the measurements rather than exaggerate. With the brace installed and tightened, we measured 4 thousandths under normal braking pressure, 0.1 millimeters. Under hard braking, we measured at 9 thousandths, 0.2 millimeters. This is an improvement, but bearing in mind we're talking about 0.8 millimeters of movement eliminated. I'm not sure what the stroke within the master cylinder is, or how much this affects the overall braking force. Most of the remaining movement appears to be the master cylinder brace itself moving relative to the shock tower brace. Both braces have fairly large holes, but we're limited to a tiny M6 bolt, as this also fastens the ECU bracket. I'm sure some sort of sleeve would eliminate this movement entirely. Overall, I'm going to leave this in my car. I'm not sure if I'll actually notice a difference, but I figure it can't hurt. And it's already installed. It would be more effort to remove at this point. Thanks for watching.